We got some big Borderlands 3 news about the December update that will finally fix that Guardian rank problem, but also include some new additions. We got new gameplay for the first expansion that you see right here that will launch on December 19th. And this gameplay includes a look at a new flag item that seems way too overpowered. Although every fadeaway user, myself included, will be very happy about it. There's a new hotfix out as well, a new event has been announced. Again, a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. A like on the video would of course be super appreciated. And let's go. Let's start with the new hotfix that is out right now. It namely addresses some annoying issues where loot was sometimes falling into unreachable areas in Slaughter Star 3000. And they also touched on the new Amara Spiritual Driver class mod that could give you a ton of movement speed, as you see right here. It's really insane. And this actually is still the case after the hotfix. Only people found a way to use the mindfulness skill and get even more movement speed stacks than Gearbox intended, so then it would really break some parts of the game because you were just too fast. Well, this has now been fixed. Also, sometimes this class mod would award extra damage to all types of damage, while it should just be for the gun damage, and that has now also been fixed. But even with these changes, this class mod will still be insanely powerful, that's for sure. And you can try and get it over here on the map in the Tassadir Ruins. For if you are curious, you get it from the Target of Opportunity. Of course, you have to farm it multiple times, but this is where it can drop. We also got fixes for Saint's Death Follows Close passive ability that first failed to bring correct bonus to several kills, and a fix for the Nerves of Steel ability that would sometimes lose functionality after fast traveling. And overall, there are some other small fixes, like where players were able to escape the map in Skywell 27 or could get stuck in Amber Mire. I will leave a link to the patch notes in the video description so you can check it out if you want, but overall, not a lot has changed. Or actually, there's one big thing: the Bloody Harvest event is now gone, and you will immediately notice it when you start up the game because there are no pumpkins anymore in the menu. So this means that the ghosts are now gone inside the game that could of course spawn out of the enemies, that we cannot travel to hack anymore or get special legendaries, and also cannot find any terror anoints anymore. But Gearbox now does confirm that this event will be back next year. So I think this is the first time we actually hear about content that will launch after the final expansion of the season pass. We don't know if they will do like an extra season pass after that, but we at least now know that the Bloody Harvest event will be back this time next year. And every month since launch we had a big new update, and we can also expect one in December. So you of course have the hotfixes each week that will be applied when you play the game online, but Gearbox cannot fix everything with these hotfixes, so that's why they also released the patches. And one of the things that actually broke with the recent November update are the Guardian ranks, of course, and we should expect a fix with the December update. Good to note, and I've said this before in a previous video, the stats still work, only the perks do not work, and it seems like we have to wait for at least 2 weeks before this will be fixed, because the update will also include the first DLC expansion, so Moxie's Heist of the Handsome Jackpot, and that will be out on December 19th, so I expect this update to launch before that. But when, we don't know. The update will also include, by the way, additional vending machines for the Skywell 27 region. Really can't wait for December 19th for the new DLC. Before we take a look at the new footage they released, I want to touch on another pretty cool announcement. Namely, at the end of the month we can expect a Maliwan Takedown event that will scale the Maliwan Takedown depending on the number of players in your party. Meaning that you will then be able to do it solo more easily or just with a party of any size, because right now this encounter is always scaled to 4 players. So the enemies just have way more health. This will be a limited time event, likely comparable to the anniversary events we saw previously. So maybe just for 1 week, we don't really know, but it sounds like it is something that will go live during the final week of December and then actually be live until the first week of January. I really like the sound of this, just makes the end game activity way more accessible for if you don't want to play with other people. And let's be honest, if you want to play with other people right now, the matchmaking is really broken. Like, I try and find people, always I end up with one other person, or I get kicked out of the game, so hopefully they take a look at that as well. But yeah, at least this event makes it so that we don't have to use that broken matchmaking in the meantime. Okay, now back to the new DLC footage, because there are totally some things that are worth pointing out without doing any story spoilers, although there are not really any story spoilers in this footage. Let's start with the biggest news from this footage, and that's the new flag class mod that drops and then Gearbox quickly picks it up. But if we freeze the frame here, we see that it's a new one called a stack bot. And it's really just insane. Whenever Flag scores a critical hit, they gain increased weapon damage until they don't score a critical hit. This effect stacks. Yes, that is just insane, because of course during the fade away skill, you do crits all the time for 5 seconds until the effect is over. So then every crit in the fade away deals more damage. Or what if you use the Illusion Skull assault rifle, for example, that does not cost any ammo when you score a crit. So when an enemy has a crit spot that you can easily hit, you can basically keep shooting, get the ammo back, and have the stacks go up, 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 up. Did we really need a new reason to use the fade away again, just when we got a good reason to use the Rex now with the new class mod for Flag? But yeah, this will totally be something to chase for the Flag players, and I would assume that we get some other class mods for the other classes too. We already saw one for Moose actually during the Borderlands show. It was, by the way, overall pretty interesting that on a non-mayhem mode, the legendaries during this new footage really dropped left and right. Like a little later in the new footage, we actually see another drop from a regular enemy that they sadly did not pick up. So it either means that this person was just super lucky, that the drop rates in this DLC are pretty high, or maybe that they still had some developer tools active while recording this gameplay. You, by the way, also see a low-level character run through this DLC, and that's because this DLC is actually already accessible the moment you reach a Sanctuary free with a new character. So that's really like 2 to 3 hours into the game. Pretty nice. So we get to explore Handsome Jack's casino, and we also see some regular slot machines like here and there. Some you can open for money or ammo, but you also got the ones we actually find on Sanctuary to test your luck. So while they have a new look, we see Bud Stallion on top, they do seem to include the same rewards as the loot boxer on Sanctuary free. Hopefully we get some new slot machines in this DLC too. You would think so, right? The first enemies that we actually encounter in this DLC are the loader bots from Borderlands 2 that are back. And we got some similar variants as well, like the gun loader, the XP loader, the SGT loader. Will be fun to take them out with our Borderlands 3 character, so prepare your corrosive guns. But the regular COV enemies will also be there, and they will actually fight each other too, so you can just sit back and let them kill each other if that is what you want. I noticed the new quest icon that seems to be for a potential side mission, like I saw it on the mini-map. Gearbox did not grab it in the footage, but sure looks interesting. Now in the footage they only followed the main story quest, and you'll actually encounter the first mini-boss of the campaign already after 10 minutes. Third rail doesn't seem to be that strong, using a rocket launcher. And you also have some non-combat encounters with Handsome Jack already, like with new dialogue welcoming you to his casino in pre-recorded messages. And there also seem to be these terminals that also include messages from Handsome Jack talking to the visitors of his casino. I will leave a link to the full gameplay for if you want to watch it for yourself in the video description. December 19th is close, and if you have the Season Pass or the Super Deluxe Edition, then this content will be included, otherwise you have to buy it. Subscribe of course for everything Borderlands 3 if you haven't already. Like the video to support the channel, and totally check out my previous video on some new weapons that were added recently with the November update. You can watch it by clicking on the screen, or I will link to it at the end of our golden chest opening that Dennis and I always like to do at the end of a Borderlands 3 video. So Dennis, it was more that that they fixed an issue with your class mod, right?
Yeah, because like I can show you in a second. You need to wait for my buff to stack, but as you can see, I'm still pretty quick.
Yeah, you're still. It looks the same.
It looks the same.
Way too insane. Now, if you also had.
Oh, thank you for finally a wagon wheel.
Ah, okay. What did you say? Was
I'm just happy to see a legendary at this point. It might have been. should try shooting me more often than before I open the chest. Let me try and shoot you, see if that works.
Oh, I got some fireworks, it looks like. Okay. Ah,
Oh,
yeah.
I think
my
we
God.
figured it out.
Yeah.
I think we figured it out.
Okay, I got the white elephant slide. Yeah, shotgun damage. Not really that good. I also don't have any space, so obviously. Oh, I got an Echo 2. A grenade.
Hey, yeah.
Do not throw Echo
That's
2.
sort of legendary.
Yeah,
Because it's
it should
technically
be.
unique.
It's pretty good, like on paper. I will pick it up and then we will showcase it the next time. So totally subscribe, of course, for everything Borderlands 3. Like the next golden key opening. Like the video to support the channel and totally check out that previous video on some raid items. We will be showcasing more very, very soon, so keep it locked for that. For now, we will speak to you next time and goodbye.